Hello, my name is Ed. I'm 76 years old. I live in Florida. For our friends in other countries, that's in the southeast part of the United States. I'm in pretty good shape. I have been a runner for 40 years or more. I also mountain bike and I walk for exercise. And this is my report on my experience with the free 8-hour trial of the 9010 MedBed. I found getting authorization for taking the trial quite easy. I found the preparations also easy, straightforward. I took the picture, uploaded it, watched the videos, which are short, informative, and I thought quite well done. And when I was ready, I settled down into my bed, got comfortable, waited a few minutes, and then said 9010 MedBed to activate the system. A minute or two later, I said scan my body, and I really didn't feel anything. Maybe a little bit of warmth, but that was it. I waited a while and still nothing happened. I did give it a list of things I wanted it to look at. The first thing was lower back pain that I've been experiencing for several years. The next thing was my knee and hip joints, because having been a runner for 40 years or so, I figured they would need a little repair work. And I also asked it to look at the retinal damage I have experienced over the years, and then asked for some improved mental clarity, just because I thought it would be a good idea, basically. I don't have any problems there. Anyhow, when I was through with that, I waited a while, still nothing. And I started to think, well, maybe I'm one of those few people who doesn't experience anything for whatever reason. And anyhow, I again said 9010 MedBed, scanned my body, and waited. After a while, I fell asleep, slept for perhaps 2 hours, woke up, and said again 9010 MedBed to activate the system in case it hadn't activated. I scanned my body, and then I said, continue working on the requests I made earlier, which is one of the things you can do. And waited a while and still didn't feel anything. Fell asleep for another couple hours. Got up, used the restroom, came back, and when I lay down, I activated the system again, 9010 MedBed, scanned my body, continue with the requests I made earlier, and waited a while and still really didn't feel anything except maybe a little warmth. And then I fell asleep again. Now, in watching a lot of the videos that other people have done, a number of them talked about having weird dreams, strange dreams. Well, I'm not a real dreamer. I don't dream very often. I don't remember them for more than an hour after I wake up normally. But I did have a rather clear and not strange, just an unusual dream. I was in New York City, where I had worked when I was a younger man, and I was walking around looking for parking garages, car parks, to use in the event that I would have to drive into the city, which I did from time to time when I worked there. And I also remember having to walk around some water that was flowing in the street, as though a water main had broken someplace nearby, which does happen in big cities like New York. And then I came to a large building, not the building I worked in when I was a magazine editor, but a building apparently new. Went up a number of stories, a number of floors, and came to an office that apparently was my office. Looked around, and it looked like a regular office. And I was surprised to see a copy of the Los Angeles Times newspaper there. This is not a newspaper I regularly read. It's not a newspaper I have any real interest in reading, but it was there, and it was surprising. Shortly after that, I woke up. It was fairly close to the end of the test, and I was aware of a little activity in somewhere in my head, a little stronger activity in my eyes, a little bit stronger activity in the area of my gums, and I had said nothing. I'd said nothing about my teeth or my gums, so that was kind of surprising. And before I started to get up, I noticed some, I don't want to say pain, it was discomfort in my left knee, and I was reminded of something that I had not even thought of when I was trying to come up with a list of things for the medbed to look at. And that is that 10 years ago, on the way to a Caribbean cruise, I stopped for lunch, and as I got out of the car, I twisted my knee very badly, and I wound up hobbling around for the whole time I was on the ship and ashore, and even after I came back home. And the sensation I was feeling after I woke up from that dream was the same discomfort I felt when the knee was healing after that injury 10 years ago. I found that pretty interesting. And about that time, my cat came up, jumped up on the bed, and usually likes to sleep right up against me, but he came up and he started sniffing around my head as though he sensed something unusual going on. And then he settled down, but he didn't settle down leaning up against me. He was half a meter away from me, but quite content and comfortable. But just he detected something, and I don't know what it was, but I found that interesting. And that's pretty much what happened during my 8-hour trial of the medbed. I want to thank Oliver very much, Oliver and the team very much for the technology, for the opportunity to experience it, and I very definitely am interested in participating in a research program. If you get the opportunity to try the 9010 medbed 8-hour free trial, take it. Thank you.